Chaos.radio. Music, podcasts, entertainment.
Hello and welcome to the latest edition of NEWSWAVE, written, produced and recorded in the heart of Cornwall by the team here at Chaos Radio. I'm your host, Tom Howe, and I'll be guiding you through some of the insightful guests and exciting news content that we've enjoyed across Chaos Radio this past week. On today's show, we join producer Liane Escorza from Schaumburg Films to explore a new short film called Ladron, meaning Thieves in Cornish, which is using Cornish language to celebrate local culture. We check in with Fair Trade Ambassador Brian Terry, who highlights how our shopping choices can make a real difference to lives around the world. As well as that, we take a trip to the annual Kernow Blue Light Festival at the Royal Cornwall Showground, uniting adults with learning disabilities and autism with emergency services and communities. If all that wasn't enough, we hear from a heartfelt local celebration at Duchy College Rosewarne, which honoured 8 newly qualified veterinary nurses. And we welcome Steve Hill of the, wait for it, Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, who shares exclusive behind-the-scenes insights into the new F1 film, partially shot during the 2023 and 2024 Las Vegas Grand Prix.
NEWSWAVE.
Okay, where to start? Well, there's a new short film in the works, and it's something really special actually. It's called Ladron, which means thieves in Cornish. What makes this project stand out though is that it's being made largely in the Cornish language, helping to bring our local culture and identity to the screen in a powerful and creative way. The team behind Ladron are crowdfunding right now to make the film happen, and Janice Rose was joined by producer Liane Escorza from Schaumburg Films, who explained more.
NEWSWAVE.
Ladron is basically an after-heist story about 2 fishermen, and 1 femme fatale. What we call a one femme fatale. Mm-hmm. They have basically robbed a van on the way to Exeter, and they have managed to actually secure a huge loot, the biggest that they've ever encountered. And they are basically trying to figure out inside a fishing loft what to do with that money. And they obviously start a conversation about where to go, whether they would stay or whether they would go somewhere else, and start a new life with the money. But what one of the fishermen doesn't know is that the other is plotting murder.
Ooh.
And along the way, our femme fatale also finds out. So there is a little bit of a double crossing, as in triple crossing going on. But we won't spoil the details of the end, but it's very satisfying. So,
I love the sound of it. So what first attracted you to the project as a producer? And was there something about the story or the team that really stood out for you?
Yes, I mean, the script landed on my inbox, in February. And it was it's written by Jake J. McIntosh. He is actually a local Falmouth, and he's written many scripts before, and he's actually produced he's actually released some short films before, and he's a lecturer and so on. So his writing is magnificent. And what attracted me to the story was to start with how the characters were so layered. And they were so defined, and they were so interesting and so deep, right? And they were so different to each other. But for some reason, this friendship had been going on for so many years. And secondly, of course, and I think it was actually the first thing that attracted me to it, was the fact that, this was written to be shot in Kernow. And I thought that was brilliant because, considering the world nowadays, I think we need to really elevate, cultural identity and language identity, and especially with this language to sort of help revive it, right? And it's a beautiful language. I've heard it spoken, and I think, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start. Like, how do it's just beautiful. But that was secondly the reason why I liked it, and thirdly, this script explores universal themes of resilience and of friendship and trust in friendship, and truth and lies, and I think they are super universal. And of course, in a short film, it's very difficult to sort of explain everything in detail, so you have to condense things a little bit. But I feel like this short film really captures, the essence of those universal themes, and I think people will absolutely love the comedic, slightly dramatic sort of neo-noir sort of style that we want to add onto it, to make it a bit entertaining and bring it out there and like make it a bit more global, as so to speak, not just Cornish based, even though we want to obviously make it really Cornish. But
yeah, I love the way you sort of resonate with the Cornish identity and using Cornish a large part throughout the script. That's going to pose some challenges for the actors, isn't it?
Yes, huge challenges. I mean, we are starting the casting process at the same time as our crowdfunding launch today. So we're already receiving some self-tapes, and some actors are magnificent. But yes, it is going to be challenging. Some actors are Cornish. Actually, we're interested in street casting, so we will be doing some announcements next week as well. So we're happy to watch self-tapes from locals that are, trained at different levels or not trained at all. But then also we're trying to look for professional actors that are happy to, and willing to take the challenge and learn the language by ear, because of course, there's not enough time to learn the language from scratch. But yeah, we're hoping that we can sort of mix some professional actors with, emerging talent, and then, local talent, and sort of make it work and make it a bit more interesting, and, help the locals to sort of, emerge and show off, basically.
Oh, we do like to do that down in Cornwall, just to let you know in advance, okay? So we are really up for that challenge. So you obviously, have you been to Cornwall and done some scouting for locations?
Yes. I mean, I personally have been to Cornwall a few times before. I really love Cornwall, but I've got friends who live there as well. So but yeah, we have already done a scouting sort of session. I think it was about a month ago. So we have identified specific locations that we really like. This is going to be based in the Lizard Peninsula.
Oh, lovely.
Yes. So and we're obviously looking at coves there, fishing coves there, and they're spectacular. But we are going to be doing a second visit at the end of July, so that we can, properly decide what to go for with the director, and then start talking to the relevant people and councils and so on to make sure that we can make it happen. So yes, watch out, because we'll be walking around asking a lot of questions in a few weeks' time.
No, that would be perfect. Well, you chose the right area of Cornwall to do it from a cinematography point of view. It's absolutely gorgeous down there. So hopefully you'll get permissions to do that. And I'd imagine a lot of people would see the finished film but don't realise there's an awful lot of prep and admin involved in getting your locations, getting all your permits and everything, because you just can't pitch up on the day, can you?
No, exactly. Yes, it's something that has to be done, well in advance. And considering that we've got the summer coming up, we really want to have those conversations, sort of done, and at least, some locations agreed, the deal terms sort of agreed, and then that way we can sort of move forward and have it all set up before we start shooting around October.
Can you tell me a little bit about the timeline from the film and when you're expecting filming to start, and roughly when audience will be able to see Ladron?
So, our plan is to shoot around October. It may be a little bit earlier. We still have to determine the date. Obviously, it's dependent on the locations and in a few other logistical sort of decisions. But that's the idea. And then hopefully for November or so, we have delivered it and we start our festival circuit. So the idea is to actually present it to festivals, and hopefully there'll be audiences there that can attend the screenings and watch it. But because we now have a partnership with Screen Cornwall, which, I think the announcement was made on Wednesday. So yeah, we have been granted the 2025 Commission Fund, which is great, and we're so grateful. They also have, I think, basically a plan or a strategy for distribution, which I still need to kind of, get clarification for. But I am sure that it's going to be available in the new year at some point or another, at cinemas or, for screenings or online. But I'm sure there's going to be more information on that.
Well, make sure you keep us posted. We want dates when you're down here again. We want you in the studio. We want to know all about this, Liane. But of course, we're here today to launch the crowdfunder. So can you tell people how they can support the film or get involved?
So our crowdfunding campaign launched today officially. We are basically using, we're basically using the crowdfunder website, which is crowdfunder.co.uk or yes. And if you look for us on there under Ladron Ladron Thieves short film. It's a bit convoluted, but I'm sure that if you do a search by Ladron Thieves, you can find it. Then you can get onto our basically beautiful page with all the information on it. We also have uploaded a few videos and a lot of information on, where the money would be going if you're pledging. And also the style, the structure, the story of the film. And then obviously, if you were to pledge, you could get updates on a weekly basis about what we're doing. We really want to get everybody involved in the filmmaking process. We will be asking questions, what people like, what they don't like, and so on. But we are offering very interesting rewards and perks as well. So if you don't want to just donate, directly in a specific amount, you can still benefit from music production sessions. We're going to be adding some nutrition sessions. When we, there's a few more of those things. So you can obviously, get into it into the page and investigate. But we're also planning on adding some Cornish rewards, obviously, so for the local people. But that's going to be happening in a couple of weeks' time or so, because we don't want to obviously advertise it all in one go.
Of course.
But yes, so that is one way of, seeing what we're doing and, helping us out and supporting the project. And another way is obviously sharing by word of mouth and letting people know that we're trying to make something beautiful and entertaining. And the third way of getting in touch with us as well is by, joining our Instagram account, which is Ladron_Thieves_film. And again, there'll be a lot of updates over there on what we're doing, photos, behind the scenes, footage. And, once we start casting or we have a confirmation of our actors, they'll be all on there. So yeah, we're very excited. And you can always drop us a line. We'll reply.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone that follows us, we say thank you. And we definitely want to hear from people. Because this is not just our show, it's basically a Cornish show, and it's and we want the audiences to be really involved in it, and we wanted them to watch it, but we also want to make a difference by really involving the community on this.
I love the fact that you're so super excited about it. It makes me think, oh, this sounds like an absolute brilliant project to be part of. And a big thank you for taking on board Cornish language as well, because some producers might think, oh, that's a bit odd, I'm not going there.
Yeah, no, I mean, the thing is luckily we've got the help of the language office to support us. So they will be obviously in hand, whenever we need any extra help for the actors to be able to, to pronounce things correctly, and also to do it in a way that obviously does not jeopardize the performances. And they'll be there, translating everything for us, and we'll be passing voice notes back and forth and so on. But I think it's for me, I just find it really exciting that, I mean, I don't know the language myself, but it's just like, it's so beautiful. And why wouldn't you want to sort of try to, speak something else, even if it's just for like one project, I've always been fascinated by languages, so maybe it's just me. And you probably noticed my accent, but I am, originally not from here, even though I'm British. But I grew up in a very multilingual environment with Spanish and German and some Basque in my household. So languages have always fascinated me, and also because the more you sort of like investigate languages and learn how to speak them, you realize that each one of them is built and structured in a different way, and it really resonates with the way people behave and their identity, right? And so grammatically you can see that the structure, they can be very different in people aligned to that kind of way of speaking. So I'm very excited about working with Kernow, because I find it fascinating, and I'm sure that it's going to be an exploratory in a discovery for the actors, but also for us, all the creators that are working on this that are not from Cornwall and that do not speak the language. So
NEWSWAVE.
Now, here's something you don't see every day. A giant banana in a cape. This is after I caught up with Brian Terry, Camborne's Fair Trade Ambassador, who's been out and about spreading the message about how our shopping changes can change lives, and in rather fancy dress as well.
NEWSWAVE.
There we are. So for the benefit of people listening on the radio, can you just tell me who you are, what you're doing here, and what you're dressed as well, please?
Right, my name's Brian Terry. I've got a rather grandiose title of Fair Trade Ambassador for Camborne. But I didn't give it to me, Town Council gave it to me. Camborne people should be very proud. They've been a fair trade town for 15 years. That's pretty good going. So fair trade producers look after the environment. They help keep it green.
And for the benefit, like I said, of people that can't see you, you're dressed as a giant banana here today with a fair trade cape as well, almost like a fair trade superhero.
Yeah, I think I think everyone can be a fair trade superhero. I dress up like this to get people to talk to me about fair trade, but it's just a matter of going into the shop and looking for the logo and buying some fair trade. It's amazing what it does for ordinary people who are out there who are producing our tea or our coffee or our bananas, in my case. But it's a marvellous movement. And because we've been a fair trade town for so long, I've met so many people from the fair trade producer end, and the amazing things they do. Divine chocolate. A lot of people know Divine chocolate because it is divine. And when they started, the first thing they did was put fresh water in every village. Now they've got education for all the children, all the way up to secondary school level. They've got a basic health service, and you're guaranteed no child labour, equal opportunities. They're looking after the environment. What's wrong? And it's great chocolate. So you don't just spend a few pence extra, and you help people like that change their lives and help look after the planet. People who work very hard get a fair price. This year we're looking particularly at tea, and tea is a big problem, because ordinary people don't expect to pay a lot for tea. But the producers get very, very little money. Fair trade ones are all right, and we want more to become fair trade. And we're very pleased that Sainsbury's own brand tea has become fair trade as of this month. But there's lots of people out there producing our tea where they're working for less than minimum wage, less than subsistence wage in their own country. And bearing in mind they come from a not such a wealthy country as us. There may be children out there picking the leaves. And really, I don't want to drink tea that has children picking the leaves or people not paid properly. So I will always look for the Fair Trade logo on anything I consume, just to make sure it's fair. So the big issue is tea this year, because we know that tea producers are particularly suffering. There is an online petition, if you go to the Fair Trade Foundation website, where we're trying to get it discussed by the government in St James's Hall. We need 200,000 signatures. There's already a lot, but we wouldn't mind if anyone else wants to go and sign the petition. You can also get a link to the petition from Camborne Town Council website, from their Fair Trade section. So we're doing our bit.
What constitutes a fair trade town?
Right, you've got to have, first of all, your council behind you, and Camborne Town Council have always been behind us. The churches are all behind us, and you have to have enough shops that offer fair trade. To be a fair trade shop, you really ought to have 3 items that are fair trade. And it varies, because shops come and go and change, and their profit margins, but there are a lot of shops in Camborne where you can get at least 3 things that are fair trade. BID Camborne, Business Improvement District Camborne, supports fair trade, and they're a great supporter. It's good for that. So basically, it's a holistic thing for the whole community. The whole community supports fair trade. Not everybody knows about it yet, but we're trying, and not everybody thinks it's important to buy fair trade, but more and more people do, and that's the important thing. Because the more people who buy fair trade tea, for example, the more fair trade tea producers can become fair trade. So it helps all those tea producers, and most of our tea comes from Kenya, so it helps all those people in Kenya have a better life. The sort of things that we want, just a decent income, bring up your family, look after your kids, and do all those ordinary things, rather than living on starvation wages to produce tea for wealthy people who pay God knows what for a pot of tea, with 1 tea bag in. They get so little. Sometimes it's less than 2.5p for a tea bag, and the amount they get out of that 2.5p is even smaller. So it's a pitiful amount they get.
Is this a groundbreaking movement for Cornwall, or are you one of many towns now that are doing a similar thing?
There are a lot of fair traders in Cornwall. There are a lot of fair traders, but there are 2 big fair trade towns. One is Falmouth, and the other one is Camborne. Falmouth were ahead of us, they're better organised, but basically they've done 20 years, we've done 15 years. But there are a lot of supporters. So, for example, a fair trade stall is run by some people from Helston. They are working hard to get Helston to become fair trade. Whether they succeed or not, it doesn't matter, really, because they communicate their fair trade produce and the fair trade message around Cornwall.
NEWSWAVE.
Right, so I'm Tom Howe, and you're listening to NEWSWAVE here on Chaos Radio. We're bringing you now something truly inspiring from the heart of Cornwall. That's because last Wednesday, the Royal Cornwall Showground hosted the annual Kernow Blue Light Festival, a vibrant, inclusive event that brings together adults with learning disabilities and autism with Cornwall's Blue Light services and many other organisations. Under the blazing sun on the hottest day of the year, we only sent community journalist Janice Rose to find the showground was packed with smiles, sirens and support.
NEWSWAVE.
I'm currently at the Kernow Blue Light Festival and I bumped into the police. Would you like to introduce yourself to me?
Good morning, Ben Deere, Commander for Cornwall and the Isles of Scilly from Devon and Cornwall Police.
It's a wonderful event. I've not been here before, but all the services are here and there's lots of organisations. Why is it so important for the police to be here?
So it's really important that we work with our partners and get people to come in and understand that we are here to help. Come and see us when you're in need or need to find out where people are that can help and support you. And so that's why we're here, and we do it alongside all of our other partners so that we can show, like I say, that support to people.
So what sort of difficulties do people with learning difficulties and autism experience in the police setting?
So I think a lot of it is an understanding of how we will support you. I think a lot of the time, because it can start from parents saying, "Oh, careful, you've got to be good because otherwise the police will come and take you away." We won't. We're like, run to us, don't run away from us. We're here to help you. We're here to support you. And so that's why it's really important that we can be that friendly face here, show you all of the different stuff, show you all the different cars, all the techniques and stuff like that we use, so that you understand we're here to help.
There's so much technology with the drones, but there's also the wellbeing dog Darcy. So you have everything for everyone here, don't you?
We do, yeah, and it is exactly that, just to show that we are that supportive, friendly face, and Darcy is amazing to do that and to really engage with people.
I take it it's not your first blue light, so what can I expect from today?
No, funnily enough, this is the fourth one that I've opened. So what you can expect from today is all of the different departments showing from a policing perspective what they can do. The same with fire, coast guard, ambulance, etc. And just showing all of the different bits and the noises of the sirens, and just explaining that this is just normal. It's nothing to be concerned about. And like I say, please come to us to help you. Don't run away from us.
You must have some pretty wonderful conversations throughout the day with people as well.
We do, yeah, and it does make it, obviously it takes a lot to put these events on, but it does make it really rewarding.
Now, I know it's just about to start, so I'd better let you get back to your post. So for the time being, thank you so much indeed.
Thank you.
Wandering around this fantastic event, I have come across someone that I've not met before from the Mountain Rescue Service. Would you like to introduce yourself to me?
Hello, my name's Jim and I am part of East Cornwall Search and Rescue Team.
So tell me all about it. What do you do?
So East Cornwall Search and Rescue Team is a team that runs out of Bodmin. We cover rural bits of East Cornwall and further afield as needed, but we'll rescue lost, injured and missing people across the moors and wild places in East Cornwall.
What a fabulous job you do. Thankfully, I've not come across you before because I've not got lost, although I am Mrs. No Sense of Direction. How do people contact you if there is someone, their loved one lost, or they are in fact lost?
So we're entirely voluntary, so we don't have our own control room or 999 call centre, so we'll always get tasked by the police or the ambulance service. So if anyone ever needs our help, 999 asks the police for mountain rescue, they'll hit the button for us and we'll come out and try and help out.
Why is it important for you to be here today at this Kernow Blue Light Festival, specifically for people with learning disabilities and autism?
I think from our perspective, it kind of breaks down those boundaries. You know, we could be out looking for anyone. So quite often, although we do the Gucci stuff on the moors, a lot of our time is spent looking for missing vulnerable people. And I think if we're able to be that friendly face, that actually people know that they can come to us when they need help, then it just makes it life a lot easier on that call out when we do need to help people.
And it looks like you've been having some wonderful chats. What have people been speaking to about?
Oh, they're really fascinated by our work. You know, I don't think people realise that we have like a boat capability, so they're looking at our rafts. We've got search and rescue dogs, which go out and find missing people as well. So we're a really diverse team, and people, I think, are just really enjoying finding out a little bit more about what we do, because quite often people don't realise we exist until they need us, and often that'll be at 2 o'clock in the morning, so that we'll never get spotted. So I think people are just quite enjoying that opportunity to actually see us in the daylight and have that conversation with us.
If people want to find out more information about you and find out exactly what you get up to, or maybe join, how do they go about that?
So we're across the social media platforms, so you can find us on Instagram and Facebook. There's lots of information and photos, etc. on there, but also we've got a website, so eastcornwallsrt.org.uk. You'll find lots of information on there, and also a link about how you can apply to join or help the team with fundraising or anything else. We are a charity, so there's no central funding at all, so we're always looking for supporters and helpers to help us just raise those essential funds so we can carry on saving lives.
I've wandered outside of the main arena and I've come across the Emergency Shetland Pony Division. So I'm here with their leader. Would you like to introduce yourselves to me?
I'm Mary Harvey. I run Chat Chai Lowen, which is an animal assisted interventions project at St Column Major.
So describe the scene that's in front of me, please.
Well, there's a unicorn there, and there's also a falabella, a South American miniature horse, which has actually got hair extensions in today, just pink hair extensions.
Just an ordinary day in the life of the pony in the Emergency Pony Division. Now, I understand Billy, who is the unicorn, also goes under the alter ego of Sparkles. Is that correct?
Yes, Sparkles the unicorn. He is definitely. He goes out to different places as Sparkles the unicorn.
I've seen seen him wandering around and he's like not fazed by a thing. He's had firemen's helmets on his head. He's had hoses given to him, and it's like, yeah, whatever.
He loves people. He was dumped about 12 years ago and we took him on, and he's just remarkable. He's a wonderful therapy pony. He's been to Little Harbour. He's been to the adolescent unit at Bodmin Hospital. He likes going out and about. He likes people.
And what's the reaction when people come across him? Because I'm a big animal lover and I saw lots of beaming smiles. So what reaction do you see on a regular basis?
I like the fact that people could come over to Billy, and Billy really likes engaging with people. We have llamas and alpacas as well, which we do occasionally take the alpacas out, but the llamas are rather large, so they stay at home.
And I understand you're a charity, so obviously fundraising is at the fore. If people want to support you, or if people want to find out how they can sort of get you to come to their event or engage with maybe their child, how do they go about that?
We have a Facebook page called Chat Chiloan. And we've been running it for 18 years, so we've been around a long time. But we never charge for any interventions at all. But we do have to fundraise because the insurance alone is £221 a month. And that's before we feed the animals or anything like that. But it's really good fun, so it's worth it in the end.
No, that's wonderful. Well, I'll let you get back to Billy and Sparkles the unicorn, as he likes to be called today, because he is wearing his unicorn horn. And it's such a pleasure chatting to you.
Thank you very much.
NEWSWAVE.
Now we're heading to a special celebration at Duchy College Rosewarne, where 8 newly qualified veterinary nurses were honoured for their dedication and achievements. I sat down with course leader Mel Clear and new graduate Gemma to find out more about their journey, from late nights and tough exams to dreams of working with zoo animals and beyond.
NEWSWAVE.
So my name's Mel Clear, and I am now the head of the Veterinary Nursing Centre at Duchy Rosewarne.
Very exciting, a very grand title as well. We've just sat through the celebration events for your brilliant veterinary students here. For anyone that's not aware, can you just tell us a little bit about what the celebration represents and who it was that you were honouring today as well, please?
So today we had 8 newly qualified veterinary nurses come down. We hold the event because although the Royal College of Veterinary Surgeons hold an event for veterinary nurses when they qualify, it's nearly always in London. And it's a long distance to travel and incredibly expensive. So a lot of them don't ever get there. So we hold our little event. It's just a Cornwall College certificate and small gift for each of them. And it's just for us to be able to honour the hard work that they've done, because it is not an easy course to get through.
And we're very lucky to have been invited back a couple of times to share this moment with you and your different students as well. And I love how you do things, because they have worked incredibly hard, and we'll come on to that in a second, but you try and add a little bit of humour into it as well, to try and keep their feet on the ground and make them feel special. But as you said, it is incredibly hard work. Can you just detail some of the experiences and some of the challenges that some of these students have faced?
Yeah, one of our students, actually 2 of our students, one is right here, Gemma, and Elise, struggled with their exams, I think it's fair to say. It is a very, very academic course. Even though the work they do is practical, they have to be able to understand the theory behind what they do. And some of the students do struggle with that, but they never give up. They are so resilient. And so today is as much honouring their hard work as well as our practices as well, because they're a part of their training too. We couldn't do it without the amount of work that the practices put in. So between us, we get these guys where we need them to be, and qualified registered veterinary nurses, yeah.
It's a brilliant commitment to be able to work with so many veterinary practices in the local area and beyond as well, and have them, I suppose, kind of see your flock go out into the world and get that real world experience, bring that back, seeing them grow. It must be a really exciting and rewarding job for yourself as well.
It is. Although it's my role now, unfortunately, is not so much on the teaching side, it's more on the paperwork and admin side, and keeping a track of all of our practices, liaising with the awarding body and the RCVS. But we are so proud to watch them grow. And we're so proud as well just to be that tiny little step in what is a very long journey for them. And it's amazing to watch them go out into the big wide world, and we know that they will go on and do more. So we're really proud of them, yeah.
So my name's Gemma, obviously just qualified, which is really great. I had quite a hard journey just because I'm not very academic and I struggled quite a lot. It's a really, really hard course and you do have to be a little bit academic to get your way through it. But I mean, everyone has been super, super helpful with getting me to this point, so really grateful for that. But yeah.
What inspired you? You heard us then talk to Mel. What inspired you to take this journey? We're seeing so many different people here today that will all have a different story, and I'm just interested to hear yours.
So, I mean, I've always loved animals anyway. I did work experience at the practice I'm at now when I was about 14, just with part of school when I was at school. And that kind of confirmed for me that was something that I actually really wanted to do. So I just pursued it from there, really. Left school, asked them if they needed anybody for work experience. They said yes. So I did it for a year, and then they offered me a job as what's called a patient care assistant or an animal nursing assistant. And then did that for a year, moved on to my student nursing, and here I am.
It's really interesting because I've obviously trained as a journalist and a radio presenter and things like this, and I didn't have this opportunity to, while I was learning, to also work in the industry as well. So to me, it's a really good reflection of sort of the support in the industry that you're able to get hands-on experience, get chucked in probably right at the deep end sometimes, as well as coming back and then talking through those experiences with other people as well, and learning as what was that experience like as well?
So we have something called the online portfolio. So when we're in practice, we do all of our practical work and log it on there. I mean, it's got literally everything practical that you can think of on there. It's the absolute bane of our lives, but but we get it done. So where I work at the minute, we've got the licence for Nuki Zoo. So we do all of their work. So yeah, I mean, working in practice at the same time has just been really helpful with getting to grips with the job, and honestly, I think it's the best way to do it, because you can be academic and be able to know things, but you need to actually be able to do those things as well. So yeah, I mean, the practical side is great.
And what does the future hold for you? Are you looking to specialise in something in particular? The world now is kind of your oyster, isn't it? You've got this under your belt. It sounds like more opportunities are coming in the industry in the future as well. Where would you like to see your career path going?
I'd really love to work in a referral hospital one day. I mean, hopefully I'll get there at some point, but I need to get some experience under my belt first properly. I think I'm just going to enjoy being qualified for a little while and then maybe do some more courses, some advanced nursing courses maybe, and see if that takes me somewhere nice. We're
documenting this and we're sharing this with potential future students as well. So what advice might you have for them if they're looking to start their journey or continue it, wherever they might be, about the industry and about the work and about everything? Because you've got the real world experience now. It's not just on a piece of paper. You've lived it now and gone through it. What advice have you got for people that might be at the start of their journey where you were a few years ago?
Best thing to do is get your work experience in. So even if you're volunteering on the weekends, like you may have just finished school, so you have a bit of time. You can also enjoy yourself obviously in the week, but on the weekends definitely. Some people start off as what's called a Saturday girl, where they just go in on a Saturday, get some experience in, get to know the nurses and the team, and usually, hopefully, fingers crossed, they'll offer you a job at the end of it. And yeah, just get your foot in the door that way, I think.
The future now for our vet nurses is growing. It's slow because it's the RCVS and they don't do anything quickly. But as Adrian was explaining in his talk, there is a movement finally to recognise vet nurses for what they are and for the roles they play. And hopefully in the future we'll see our registered vet nurses going down the same path as human veterinary nurses, where they can specialise and become prescribing nurses in some areas. We already have training where they can do orthopaedics as a speciality, nutrition as a speciality. There's loads of specialities they can go into now. Anaesthesia, wound care. You've really put me on the spot. I'm trying to make my brain work. Animal behaviour, exotics. One of our vet practices works a lot with Nuki Zoo, so our students at that practice see a lot of weird and wonderful animals come through, which is fantastic for them because they get so much more experience. But it is opening up. The veterinary nursing world is slowly starting to open up, and I think in 4 or 5 years' time these guys will have a lot more that they can choose from.
NEWSWAVE.
And finally this week, a key scene in the brand new F1 film was shot during the Las Vegas Grand Prix in 2023 and 2024, with the film crew embedding the fictional team Apex GP to capture real on-track action. The only catch? Crews had just a 15-minute window at night with cold tyres and low grip to get the shot. Steve Hill, CEO of the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, was highly involved in organising the filming and joined Brian and Jordan to share behind-the-scenes scoops.
NEWSWAVE.
I am the CEO of the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, which is the best job in our city.
I was about to say, you must be quite busy.
Well, Las Vegas is an easy place to sell. And our city's, grown a bunch and expanded and brought all kinds of new offerings. And I feel very fortunate to be a part of it.
Absolutely. And I believe you were quite a key player in securing the Las Vegas Grand Prix. What kind of impact have you seen on the city in the 2 years since the inaugural race?
Well, the race is such a spectacular event, and it brings a big financial boost to the city. Formula One's now really involved in the community, and all of that's great. But it also brings a global spotlight to Las Vegas that you just couldn't match any other way. When Formula One cars are running, 340 kilometers an hour down the most spectacular street in the world, everybody wants to watch.
Yeah.
And it brings nearly 100 million viewers on television and just really, literally countless connections to Formula One fans around the world.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's also because Formula One has kind of inherently been a European thing for many, many years. So it's great to see even more kind of American involvement in the sport as well, including teams that are coming in to sooner seasons, but also with the Las Vegas Grand Prix and the amazing venues that you've got out there.
Yeah, there's really so much opportunity in the U.S. for Formula One. It's a global phenomenon that America's just kind of catching up to at this point. And there's now 3 races in the U.S. We're the third. We think we're the best, but Austin and Miami may argue with us about that. But it has been transformational for our city. And it is really a flag for Formula One to build around in the western part of the U.S.
Absolutely. So we're primarily here to talk about F1 the movie today, and some parts of the film were filmed on the Las Vegas Strip during some of the races. What was it like to be involved in the filming process? I can imagine it's out of my wildest dreams personally.
Well, Las Vegas has the ability to make some pretty grand things happen. And, the city comes together and makes that work. Apple reached out to us with Formula One about 2.5 years ago and talked to us about the concept of this movie. Talked about Brad Pitt being the star. We wanted to share the spotlight with that, and it worked. It's a fantastic, it's fun movie. It's been a blockbuster hit, both in the U.S. and around the world. And we're really proud to have Las Vegas as, one of the co-stars of the movie itself.
I like that in the rolling credits at the end, Las Vegas Grand Prix. But I've read that apparently there was a 15-minute nighttime filming window for this during the Las Vegas Grand Prix, which sounds so intense. Were there any particularly memorable or stressful moments during that process?
Well, when you've got Brad Pitt driving, 300 kilometers an hour around the circuit, that makes everybody a little nervous.
Yeah.
The dedication he showed to becoming a quality driver of the car, I think made a difference for the movie.
Absolutely.
The visuals in the movie are spectacular, and he played a role in making that happen. But when you've got, the biggest star in the world going that fast in your city, you want it to go well. So that's a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I hate to think of the health and safety checklist that you had to do for that one.
Yes.
I do love the fact that Brad Pitt really threw himself into learning how to be a competent driver and actually physically driving these cars. Do we think we're going to see him maybe, I don't know, Cadillac's coming in next year? Could we see Brad Pitt joining the team?
Yeah, there's no telling what he's able to accomplish. So who knows?
Absolutely. And from a tourism and entertainment standpoint, how significant is it for Las Vegas to be portrayed on such a global stage through both sport and cinema?
Well, it's a marketing opportunity for us in both ways that we couldn't afford to buy. We've got a pretty big advertising budget in Las Vegas, but this is beyond what we could do on our own.
Absolutely.
The brand attachment to the movie and to Formula One. Formula One has become kind of a leader in the cutting edge of global culture.
Yeah.
And to be associated with that, I think we're helping Formula One because we're kind of out there too. But when you put those two brands together, it's just exceptionally hard to top that.
Absolutely.
And it has elevated our city. We think it's elevated Formula One too, and we really value the partnership.
Absolutely. Like the Las Vegas Grand Prix has only been going on for 2 years. It's going to come into its third year this year. But there's nothing better for me last year. I'm a big fan of Max Verstappen personally, and seeing him win the championship with the Bellagio fountains everywhere, I'm getting goosebumps now thinking about it. And it's two iconic kind of brands, if you will, just coming together to create something even better.
Yeah, what better backdrop for a champion than the fountains of Bellagio?
Absolutely.
It's the kind of thing that only Las Vegas can make happen.
Yeah. And what better place than to celebrate winning your fourth world championship as well?
Absolutely, and where our race is placed in the schedule is often going to make it a very pivotal race as the season comes to a conclusion. Last year, obviously, we had the Drivers' Championship decided there. The Constructors' Series was still potentially up in the air. And then, we're third from the last race of the year. So it's going to be a key race each year. And, one of the things we were really happy about was the fact that the circuit turned out to be a great racetrack.
Yeah.
It was built because of the backdrop. The designers came in and worked hard to make it a great circuit from a racing standpoint too. And that's turned out to work. We had the most overtakes in the first year that we had the race that season. It's just a very competitive circuit.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you have any involvement with the design of the actual track, or was that bit above you?
Our role in this really is to help pave the way, to help remove obstacles, to help make sure they are introduced to the right people. And then we get folks in Las Vegas to say yes when they need to say yes. Our city's good at that. But this was the hardest thing we've ever done. It's not an easy thing to do when you shut down your city for an entire week. So I applaud F1. I applaud Las Vegas too.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we're approaching the British Grand Prix this weekend, and you're going along to Silverstone on Sunday. Is this your first time at the track?
No, it's not. I was there a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
We've got a really great partnership with the folks who run Silverstone. We've got an activation out there in the fan zone this weekend, but they were really helpful in giving us pointers on how to put the race on.
Yeah.
So they've become our friends. They've been out to our race. We've been to theirs. I'm thrilled to be able to be back on Sunday.
Absolutely. It's almost kind of like the grandfather of Formula One helping out the baby of Formula One, which I really like.
That is completely right. This is the 75th anniversary of Formula One, the 75th race at Silverstone. It is the grandfather of Formula One. It's where the teams are. It's where they practice. It's where they build cars. It's where they test. And being able to turn to them for advice on how to make it work has been really helpful. And we found that in several cities throughout the world, but Silverstone's been kind of the lead for that.
Yeah. For sure. Which teams or drivers are you particularly excited to see in action this weekend? I also want to know, will you be sticking to your American roots and supporting Haas?
Well, Haas is also building a big factory in Las Vegas.
Oh, great.
And so, they're going to have 2,500 manufacturing jobs in our city. It's going to be one of the biggest manufacturing facilities in Nevada. And so it's hard not to root for it. They're kind of the hometown team now. But Las Vegas is a city that has welcomed folks from around the country and around the globe, and they bring their allegiances with them.
Yeah.
And so you'll run into a fan for every driver in Las Vegas, and that's fun. So Silverstone's always a great circuit and a great race, and I'm sure it's going to be a great competition this weekend. It's going to be hard to figure out who's going to win.
Absolutely. I've been talking on air about it, and we're looking to be in for some unpredictable weather this weekend. Are you hoping for a little bit of rain drama this Sunday?
Well, it always makes things a little interesting.
Yeah.
You don't want it for the whole time, but a little sprinkle kind of changes the tenor of the race. Somebody gets too far out in front, it'll bring them back to the pack, and it just makes it a little more exciting.
Absolutely. And finally, do you have any podium predictions or anyone that you'd love to see top the podium this weekend?
Well, we've met most of the teams and most of the drivers, so it's pretty hard for us to single somebody out. Now, if you go to the movie, you will notice that Las Vegas has a trailer headed into the movie, and at the end of it, Lewis Hamilton's welcoming everybody to Las Vegas in November. So we're proud to be able to team up with Lewis for that. So he'll be one of our favorites headed into the weekend.
Absolutely. We're heading for that 10th victory at Silverstone, which would be absolutely amazing. Well, Steve, thank you so much for your time today. It has been really, really great to talk to you. I said it earlier, but I just love to talk all things F1. So this was great for me.
Well, I do as well. I appreciate you having me.
NEWSWAVE.
Okay, that's all we've got time for on this week's edition of NEWSWAVE. A big Chaos Radio thank you to producer Liane Escorza from Schaumburg Films, to Fairtrade Ambassador Brian Terry, to everybody that took the time to join us at the annual Kernow Blue Light Festival, to Mel and Gemma from Duchy College Rosewarne, as well as to Steve Hill of the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. And as ever, a final thank you to you for listening and helping support local journalism to thrive. To catch up on all our coverage, as well as to check out our extensive back catalogue of interviews and shows, head on over to chaos.radio. And remember, if you have a local news story that you'd like to share with us, email news@chaos.radio or search Chaos Radio UK across socials. That's it, you're up to date here on Chaos. I'm Tom Howe. Whatever you're doing, be sure to keep it chaos.
NEWSWAVE.
Chaos.radio. Music, podcasts, entertainment.